the Gospel of Barnabas, where Jesus Christ prophesies the coming of Mohammed. This is translated from a Greek article. I'm translating for you. A gospel whose antiquity is in dispute has shaken the minds of many Christians in the West because of an entirely different Christ presenting it. The Christ who declares man and denies being God, the reason for the infamous, of course, Gospel of Barnabas. Now, the reason I'm referring to this is because we have to be aware of what's around, what's out there, so that if anyone brings it up as a point of discussion, we know what to answer them. It's not that I agree that it's a proper gospel, it's not. Now, the Gospel of Barnabas is not unknown to theologians and historians, but because it is unknown to the general public, it has recently been discovered, quote unquote, by British tabloids and has made it a big issue. Though no one is surprised and no one who has accepted the Orthodox Christian faith has any reason to be offended, the Gospel of Barnabas is a text that describes the life of Jesus and is attributed to the disciple of Barnabas, who in this work is regarded as one of the 12 disciples, but actually belonged to the larger circle of the 70 disciples, the apostles. The text is known from two manuscripts, both dating at the end of the 16th century, both written in Italian and the other in Spanish. The Spanish manuscript has been lost today. Although it's been lost, its text is preserved in a copy of the 18th century. The Gospel of Barnabas is a fairly extensive work, and it has about equal to the sum of 4 regular New Testament Gospels. The Italian manuscript, for example, has 222 chapters. Much of the text is devoted to the narrative of Jesus' life, harmonized with the narratives of regular Gospels, but in some key respects follows the Islamic theological perspective of Jesus' faith and contradicts his Orthodox faith and teachings. So obviously it must have been written by someone of the Islamic faith. Now, the text is regarded by the majority of academics, Christians, and Muslims, such as Abbas el-Akkad, to be false and chronologically very recent. But some scholars do not exclude the possibility of containing some remnants of earlier occult, Gnostic, or Eubonian works, or even excerpts from Titans through 4. Other Muslim scholars consider this to be a genuine copy of an apostolic original. Again, we know that it's not, but anyway, we're still going through the article. As some Islamic organizations have even invoked it in support of the Islamic view of Jesus. This work should not be confused with the letter of Barnabas or the Acts of Barnabas, which are works of different and more widely known. The Christian human and not God. According to the Gospel of Barnabas, Jesus predicted and rejected his deification. And after I said this, Jesus hit his face with both hands, and then he hit the ground with his head and lifted his head and said, "Cursed be he that putteth in my words that I am the Son of God." 53:6. So you can understand here, it's totally against the New Testament Gospels, what's being written in this Gospel of Barnabas, which is of course not it's not a proper text. And going on with this, it says, Jesus answered, "And you, what do you say I am?" Peter answered, "You are the Christ, the Son of God." Then Jesus angrily rebuked him, saying, "Go away from me, for you are the devil, and seek to provoke me to crime." 71. Okay, they left out a lot of passages from here. I mean, you can't pick and choose what you're going to put together. Obviously, this is what has been done here. Anyway, going on with this, the same pattern is repeated in other parts of Barnabas' gospel. This is fully consistent with Muslim belief that Jesus is only a man and a prophet. Forecast of the future of Muhammad. The Gospel of Barnabas claims that Jesus foretells the coming of Muhammad, thus agreeing with the Quran, which states, "And remember Jesus, the son of Mary, said, 'Children of Israel, I am the apostle of Allah, the messenger to you, to confirm the law which was set before me, and to give good news to the messenger who will come after me, whose name will be Ahmed.'" Ahmed is another name of Muhammad. But when he came to them with clear signs, they said, "This is manifest magic." Surah 61:6. The name of Muhammad is often quoted in the Gospel of Barnabas, as is the following passage. Jesus replied, "The name of the Messiah is remarkable, for God himself gave it the name when he had created his soul and placed it in a heavenly majesty. God said, 'Wait for Muhammad. For your sake I will create paradise, the world, and a multitude of creatures, of whom I give you a gift, to the point that whoever blesses you will be blessed, and whoever curses you will be cursed. When I send you into the world, he will send you as the messenger of salvation, and your world will be true, to the point that heaven and earth will pass away, but your faith will never fail. Muhammad is his blessed name.' And then the crowd raised their voices, saying, 'O God, send us your messenger. Oh, we are worthy. Come fast for the salvation of the world.'" This is Barnabas 97, 9-10. And going on with the rest of the article, however, while there are many places where the Gospel of Barnabas provides alternative readings to passages found in the regular Gospels, the true Gospels of the New Testament, none of the references to Muhammad's name appear in any such passage. And in particular, none of the references to Muhammad in the Gospel of Barnabas corresponds to any reference to the Gospel in the normal Gospel of John. There is only one case where the Gospel of Barnabas could be thought of as a correction of a known canonical cut in order to record a prophecy of Jesus for the anonymous messenger of God. Then Jesus said, quote, "I am a voice that cometh throughout all Judea and crieth, prepare your way for the messenger of the Lord. It is written in Isaiah," they said, "if you are not the Messiah or Elias or a prophet, for whom do you preach a new doctrine and make yourself more important than the Messiah?" And Jesus answered, "The miracles that God does with my hands show that I am talking about what God wants, nor do I really present myself more important than the one you are talking about. For I am not worthy to loose the shoes of the messenger of God, whom ye call the Messiah, which came before me and will come after me and bring the word of truth, so that his faith may not have end." Chapter 43. This passage corresponds to normal John 1:19-30, except that in the normal John Gospel, the words are John the forerunner in the Quran of Yahya ibn Zachariah, and they refer to Jesus. Now, Muhammad as the Messiah, according to one version of the Gospel of Barnabas, as we said, this is not a true gospel, it's totally to be ignored. Quote, "Then the priest said, 'How shall the name of Messiah be called?' Jesus answered, 'Muhammad is his blessed name.'" Verse 97, "And Jesus confessed and said the truth, 'I am not the Messiah.'" Chapter 42:2. And in the position of Christ has been crowned, Christ has become the Annunciation of Christ happened earlier into the heavens. According to the passage following, Jesus spoke to Barnabas, telling him a secret. Jesus said, crying, "O Barnabas, it is necessary for you to reveal the great secrets which after I depart from the world you must reveal." Then the one who writes replies, weeping, and said, "It is fitting that I cry, O Lord, as other people, because we are sinners. To you, being a saint and prophet of God, it is not fit to cry so much." And Jesus answered, "Believe me, Barnabas, that I cannot weep as much as I should, because if people did not call me God, I would see God here in a way that is visible in paradise, and I would be safe not to be afraid of the day of judgment. But God knows I'm innocent, because I've never thought of anything more than a poor slave. No, I tell you that if I had not been called God, I should have been taken to heaven when I left the world, and now I will not go there until the judgment. Now you see if I have a reason to cry. Learn, O Barnabas, that I must be persecuted for this, and one of my disciples will sell me for 30 silver coins. So I'm sure the one who sells me must be killed in my name, because God will take me from the earth and change the appearance of the traitor, so that everyone will believe that it is me. However, when he dies with a bad death, I will stay with this shame for a long time in the world. But when Muhammad, the holy messenger of God, comes, dishonor will be removed. And this is what God will do, because I have confessed the truth of the Messiah who will give me this price, that I will be made aware that I am alive and that this impious death is foreign to me. Muslims called proof that Muhammad is the very Messiah. Some Muslim religious organizations cite this work to support Islam's view of Jesus. You see how important it is that we know this now. The Muslim religion, some organizations cite the Gospel of Barnabas as a support for Islam's view of Jesus, which is totally wrong, totally the opposite of reality. Now, in particular, in the 19th century, Muslim religious thinkers Rashid Rida in Egypt and Sayyid Abdullah al-Maududi in Pakistan accepted and recommended it through a letter rejecting Muhammad's special name as a possible interference. In addition, the Gospel of Barnabas is commonly used in practice by Muslim controversialists as a counterbalance to the use of the regular Gospel by Christian missionaries. Given Muslim teaching, it is claimed that Injil, quote-unquote, the prophetic gospel delivered through the prophet Isa, Jesus of Nazareth, has been irrevocably misrepresented and distorted in the course of its transmission by Christians, and that it cannot, by Christianity, to accept that any text of the Christian tradition, including the four regular canonical Gospels of the Christian New Testament, truly represent the teaching of Jesus Christ. Given the Orthodox Islamic perspective, the Gospel of Barnabas is clearly a Christian work, this is what they claim, as evidenced by many points where it differs from the Quran. It's also expected to have been distorted. Consequently, no Orthodox Muslim writer accepts the Gospel of Barnabas as a transmission of the authentic Gospel, and few deny that the well-known Italian text contains significant elements of later forgery. But Muslim writers welcome those elements of the Barnabas Gospel that are in line with the given teachings of the Quran, such as Jesus' refusal to be the Son of God and Jesus' prophetic prediction of God's next messenger. And as a result, many Muslims tend to think that these particular elements represent the survival of Jesus' original teachings that are much more compatible with Islam. And this is from information from Wikipedia and concerning the Gospel of Barnabas. And this is on the Greek article. I'll leave a link below for you, Diadrastika. I've translated for you. So we know that some Islamic organizations base their view on this and, of course, deny that Christ is the Son of God, which he is, of course, the Son of God. So we know now that we are not to give this any weight whatsoever because it's a complete forgery. And unfortunately, whoever wrote this is responsible for going to the bottom of hell and taking millions of people with him. I'll leave a link below for you for this. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.